Hello snowboarders of the internet, I'm your host Avran LeFeber, and in this video we're going to be reviewing the Rossignol Revenant. This board features Rossignol's AmpTech All Mountain, which is camber through the inserts with rocker in the tip and the tail. Basically it's camber dominant cam rocker, so you're going to get that load and snap of traditional camber from underfoot, but you got that rocker out in the nose and the tail, which is going to give you a more optimal powder float as well as ease of entry in and out of turns. This board is available in 154, 158, 162, 159 wide, 163 wide, and 166 wide. I rode this board at Copper Mountain on an overcast gray sky day with high visibility. There was cooler to warmer temps depending where you went, some moderate wind. What you had was frozen, firm, fast corduroy at the top of the mountain, creamy corduroy in the middle of the mountain, and slush at the bottom with some chunder, some ice, and kind of everything thrown in between for spring-like conditions. And I rode it with my Rome Black Label bindings and my K2 Thraxis boots. This board has your standard run-of-the-mill, all-mountain freestyle, middle-of-the-road flex to it. So you do get softer tips, stiffer midsection, with the nose being slightly softer than the tail. There's a moderate amount of torsional flex so you can really twist it, and this board is moderately stable. At high speeds you will get chatter that will resonate back underfoot. In rutted out terrain, keep your knees bent because you can get knocked around from time to time. It does try to stay on top of everything and push through though. It's just, you're probably going to feel it, especially if you get body jarred or you just hit something that's like a frozen death cookie that wants to just send you to the ground. Alright, so there's some snap to this board. It's not the poppiest thing I've been on, but that's kind of a given. Lately these days I feel like they've kind of sacrificed pop for more durability or stiffness. What you have is that camber section through the middle that when you load up, it activates that rocker in the tail and gives almost a skate-like pop, which means you don't have to be as calculated when you're popping off things. You can come in and be a little bit more laid back, but you do have to engage that camber zone. Now with that said, you'll be able to pop a side hit, launch a cat track gap, ollie off a roller, ollie over a family of fat skier people if you really want to. And when it comes to jumps, it's got more than enough pop to keep you satiated for getting in the air. Yeah, the lip's going to do a little bit of the work, but you're also still going to get that rebound from that camber section as you snap off the tail right where it meets the rocker zone. Go hit those small, medium, even some large jumps. I think small to medium is really this board's strong suit, but it can handle bigger stuff if you absolutely need it to. What's nice about this board is you do have that rocker in the nose and the tail, so if you're really lazy you can just roll back on the tail or roll forward on the nose and butter. I like to pop into my stuff or try to get sideways and really flex into it. When you do that, what you're going to notice is that right where the camber meets the rocker, you've got this ideal flex point that you can balance your weight on and still retain that snap to pop out of it. If you want to swivel and sizzle, you can totally swivel and sizzle. Just be aware you're going to have some rebound. It doesn't necessarily fight you, but it wants to pop out of any variation that you do. So you're on your tail, you're sideways, it wants to pop. You get on your nose, you're sideways, it wants to pop. You do a 180 and you land back on the nose, it's going to want to pop out of it. Now when it comes to jibbing, that rocker zone is nice for locking into presses, but you can overpower it if you get too aggressive. You get way out on the tip or the tail, it'll want to overflex. Even though you do have this rebound right in the middle where that camber section is, and it wants to pop out of everything, you can still overpower it, especially when you're right up where the tip kick is on this thing. Be aware. That's all you need to really know. You can be a little bit more subdued if you want to. Now when you get sideways on a feature, that camber section hugs it perfectly well. It doesn't clap out. You don't feel like you're just going to snap the board. It's got that right amount of rigidity so that it just cradles right around as you slide through the feature. Go send it. You're not going to have a problem with it. Alright, so the nice thing with this board is you've got Rossignol's serrated edge tech, and that allows you to steer right underfoot where that camber zone meets the rocker. Now, with that said, it is nimble edge to edge, just due in part to that rocker. You can really transition smoothly from toe to heel back and forth. but when you're on edge on firmer snow or something that's just a little bit harder, it gets a little bit loose, so you want to bring that power back underfoot instead of out at the tip of the tail. So you're just doing a lot of that ankle steering in there. Now, when you're in hero snow and you want to lay it over, you can lay this board over if you really want to. You push into that center camber zone, and that actuates that rocker in the tail, and you can get a slingshot effect and get more power and drive out of the turn. There are some limitations with this board. You'll realize it really quick. It's not something you're going to just go rail hard turns on all the time, but when you need to, it's good. I think its strong suit really is short, tight, quick setup turns, or those medium mellow cars where you're just sort of going around whatever's in front of you. Who's this board for? The all-mountain freestyle guy. So nothing's really changed with this board since last year. I just wanted to do a refresher review for it. You know, that way I can see if there's been some consistency or whatnot. It's a solid all-mountain freestyle board with cam rocker. You know what you're going to get. It's predictable. It's easy to ride for the most part, but it still gives you the power where you want it. It's a very solid option from Rossignol. Comparable boards: the Jones Mountain Twin, the Yes Unink Basic, the Capita Mercury. Binding recommendations: the Now IPO, the Ride C8, the Rome Katana. This has been my review of the Rossignol Revenant. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you own one? Are you going to buy one? Leave me a comment down below. Let's have a conversation about this snowboard. If you're new here, remember to subscribe, click the bell, get those notifications. That way you're not missing any of the videos we got coming out for all you snowboarders of the internet. And if you really like what we're doing over here and you want to support us further, swing on over to Angry Snowboarder VIP and become a member. Sure, I could tell you more here, but I got a video over there that explains it so much better. As always, I've been your host, Avran LeFeber, and I'll see you in another video.